We're off.
So Aaron's on.
Aaron is coming. I'm surprised he's not here yet, but he was catching the ferry from Shabig at noontime.
Oh.
So he'll be, I'm sure he'll be along,
Good luck with that.
but,
Which one?
what's that?
Back to Portland or?
I'm assuming, I assumed it was Portland, I didn't ask. All right, so did everybody have a chance to read the minutes from the last meeting? I actually just finished.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Who wants to motion to accept the minutes? Who wants to second it?
Second.
All in favor? Anyone opposed? Thank you. Second thing I wanted to ask is, Aaron struggles with this time slot, so my ask, if this works for folks, is can we keep the building committee where it is at 3 and then schedule fire and rescue at 4 going forward?
They're never done in that one.
The last 2 meetings, we've been done in like half an hour, 40 minutes.
Wait till the action starts.
Yeah, well, I like having a 1 hour, and if it's,
Deadline.
if we're right in the middle of something that can't wait, then we'll just delay the start of fire and rescue. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I say yes.
all right,
The building committee won't last an hour.
yeah. So will one of the two of you update that on the calendar for us, please? Thank you.
We'll use 4 o'clock as a starting time.
Yeah,
September 10th is when it starts then? September 10th will be our next meeting.
sounds right to me.
Okay, all right.
So on the list from last time, I know we have one new action item, which is the EMS plan that needs to be submitted to the state. On the existing list, we should probably just touch base on what's left from the action items from the last meeting minutes. And I think, Christie, you said something about, you had some information from PERS, from,
Frank and I contacted them, and they are sending us a packet, and they said, yeah, we think, you'll be able to get on, but you gotta jump through some hoops, it takes a while,
yeah,
but
okay.
they didn't seem to think it was a problem. I mean, it has to be voted on by the
It's gotta
legislative
go to
body.
March, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
and I think one of the policy questions for the town will be, is it just for firefighters, or does the town wanna have all employees,
Yeah.
have that option, so.
Okay.
But they did say 3C was something that many towns were doing for firefighters. I think that was the area you
Yep.
folks were recommending. Yeah.
If I remember right, too, looking through some of it, they needed to know how many were gonna be on the roster as well. And then all the details, what the annual salary is gonna be, what their existing retirement arrangement is for those employees that we've got. The proposed coverage definition, whether it's gonna be main person, like we said, the 3C that she just said, when the effective date of that was gonna be, if there's any collective bargaining documentation, so I don't, if it's just the firefighters, or if it's gonna be the rest of the town, so I know we've got the recycle, there's a ton of stuff, so.
Yep.
Anyway,
Yeah,
not
is it gonna be a special plan, like where it's a straight 25? Or is
That's
it
what the
going
3C
for
is.
the firefighters and the municipal
The
employees?
3C is just firefighter,
Correct.
but they say there's a broader question for the town. When you fill out the
Would it be a
documentation,
different plan?
yes,
Correct.
yes.
So it
Yeah.
is a special plan still for firefighters?
Yeah.
Mhm. And that can be the only thing that you offer if you want.
Well, I know in the past, when I've been involved in the municipal side of it,
Yeah.
I mean, you have other options as to whether you have COLA, as to whether you have health insurance and those type of things. So there's other options the town clearly has to look at. And obviously, they all cost more.
And I think she might have said July 1, do you recall if that's what
Was
she?
it, I think it was.
It's
a
kind of like
July
they
1
have a cycle, and I think there's
Oh, you mean
July
open
1 to June 30.
Open enrollment, yeah.
Yes,
So when Portland switched from 2C to 3C,
Yeah.
they did it on January 1st.
oh, January 1st?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I don't know,
Was that
this being a
recent?
new employee, well, that was, I was gonna say that was 4 years ago.
Okay.
So, so 3C is the special plan, it has COLA built into it, so that's the rate plan. And then the town will want to make sure that their firefighters, when they hire them, are aware that they can buy into the municipal firefighter and law enforcement health insurance subsidy for when they retire. that's something the town is obligated to notify them.
We
It doesn't
actually
cost the
do
town
right
anything?
now. We notify full-time ones.
Oh, excellent,
Yeah,
already on
yeah.
top of it.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, good. So the next thing on the list was EMT coverage gap start date.
Yeah, there's a second.
I think we're all set with it. I mean,
Has it already started?
no, we've been, rescheduling EMTs to reduce the openings. I don't think we have any anticipated opening for another week or so.
Okay.
We had some folks that came back and are filling some gaps, and, it's, you know, it's moving target every day. But our plan is to continue with trying to have those coverages on, those during times when we have EMS coverage. And
Okay.
following the committee's, policy of, you know, the town municipal firefighters are gonna respond when they echo and Delta calls anyway. That's not gonna be a permission, that's gonna be an automatic, so.
Yep.
Other than that, it's pretty much,
I'm not saying I know the answer, Dave, but is there gonna be some kind of notice in the system that we're in one of these windows?
yes, everyone, once we identify a window, everyone will effectively notified. Myself, the rescue chief, the paramedic,
What's the mechanics of that notice?
I'm pretty sure it's through an email arrangement,
Okay.
but that's the best I know at this point. But yes, everybody recognizes, everybody's gotta be aware, the paramedic on duty's gotta be aware, the EMS people within the department, as well as the leadership of the department,
Yeah.
so that we're aware of what's going on. And we're still looking at, in the event we have that opening, we have still encouraged EMTs that are not on the schedule, that if they hear the call,
Yeah.
Yes,
to participate.
Yep.
And this is a bit of a challenge, because some of these folks are working a lot, and they're less likely to monitor, but they recognize the situation that we're in, and we're encouraging them to, if they're available, respond to even eliminate that opening. So we're taking every step we can to minimize those gaps.
And we have put together a jump bag and an AED and an oxygen kit, so it's all set there. So.
Excellent. All right, I'm not sure that there's really anything, I'm not sure there's anything really we can do in IAR for notification, so. I mean, the only other thing I could think you could do is, you could let dispatch know and they could just announce it with a morning tone test or something like that if you're.
Well, why can't we do it as a notice in IR? Functionalities.
I mean, maybe we can create a unit in there and you just put the unit out of service or something like that, so it'll go across automatically. Somebody will have to remember to put it back in service like we do with the truck. I don't know. We can think on it.
I don't know, we're not doing it now. We get toned out now,
No, I get that, yeah,
so I don't.
yeah. But we're also
I
not,
didn't ask for it, Chief.
yeah.
Chief, I just wanna make sure
Well, I
there's
just-
some notice.
No, I didn't think the people that are affected are gonna be notified.
Okay, that's fine with me. I heard your question, that's why I was following up on where I thought it was going, but, all right.
I
So,
just think it's kinda weird not to know engine nine's gonna roll, and we're not gonna know why, you know? That's all,
Oh, I see, yes,
Yeah, you know, that's just the kinda little quirk to it, like, sitting, you know, 20 minutes away.
And maybe for them, they should come on the air with, you know, the in-service
Yeah, whatever that.
EMS assist or something, just so it identifies what their role is.
Well, yeah, you would know because there's gonna be an EMS call.
Yeah,
And then
you're gonna know.
you're gonna hear us responding.
Right, if you just identify that way, then everybody will know
I'm
what your
all
role
good
is, right?
with that.
all right. The next item was ambulance equipment standardization. So I started a conversation with Harvey and Scott Cameron, and my goal is to try to get the jump bags, the 3 primary jump bags, one for each ambulance, the same. So that's my goal, so it doesn't really matter what EMT jumps in the truck, at least they know where to find stuff in the jump bag itself, so, that's hopefully where that's going. And the next thing on the list was a conversation we've been having about, drafting an outline for longer-term consolidation or vision or whatever that is going to look like, is the one that's kind of holding out there.
Yeah, I just put that as a placeholder, because Lieutenant spoke about it, so I just, that's why I put it as a placeholder.
Okay.
You're gonna end up asking for a bunch more money for 7x24, you probably ought to put it in contract.
Say that again?
I said, if we end up, and I think we are, proposing that we go to 7x24 coverage in the next budget cycle,
Yeah,
that's going to add a ton of money to the situation, and you probably ought to put it in some kind of longer-term context.
okay. All right, I get what you're saying. So how's the best way to, I mean, so it's kind of two topics, but what you're saying, really one has a huge impact on the other. So how do we,
No, I mean.
This planning wise, I mean.
I tried to say this before, and I didn't do a good job, I guess, right? We have one short-term project, which is because of the budget cycle, a short-term project, which is if we're going to propose to the town that we go to 7x24 coverage before the new building arrives, we need to put together a budget, a reasonable budget to do that and get it in the cycle.
Yes,
So let's just park that here, and that is sort of in the.
Near term.
Near term, I might even want to use stronger words,
Well,
like
it's more urgent
urgent.
because of the budget cycle.
Because, you know, the train has left the station, or about to leave the station on that project, the town budget. As a corollary to that, and this is really addressed, I don't know, generically, if the opinion of the group is that in order to be successful at that, we're going to at the same time have to change the way we do shifts and potentially change the compensation program and benefit programs, then I think you also have it to do, and this, I'm kind of looking at Kevin on this, but I mean, I think the town's not gonna make any progress on that decision unless they get some outside help. That's just my personal opinion. People aren't gonna stand with us standing around in the room and saying, yeah, okay, I'm gonna go make all these benefit changes just for this program. And then the third part of that is what I think we're trying to adjust, okay, in context of that transition, what's the next step after that, and what is it? This sort of the structure I think we're in.
Okay, so,
So I really would think we should, you know, we should ask ourselves, what are the steps we're gonna use to get to a reasonable budget estimate? You know, and how's that gonna happen?
and are we going to do that, or is town staff going to do that?
Well, I think the town staff can do it, that's for sure.
Well,
You certainly.
It's already been started.
You need, yeah,
Yeah.
you need, I think they're gonna need a little help.
Yeah. Right, Frank?
Frank probably doesn't need help.
Does Frank want help?
So for 27, 28, correct?
Well,
Calendar year
we get to
27.
deal with only one number in the town, so 27.
27.
And beyond.
So, nothing can be done until at least March. I mean, at least if we could,
Again, the
if we
budget is a
budgeted
set
on,
of the budget is a set of assumptions, Keith, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I mean, it's like, it doesn't, you're gonna assume the following things to come up with the budget. Like, you know, you start in March, you start in April, you start in May, I don't.
no, I understand, and so the second half of
The
that,
building comes, because you still gotta do this, the new building comes on when, because that's another nut in the pie, and now you got a new number.
but so to finish my sentence was, you can't really act on it until March meeting, but we need a start date in order to build a budget. And I'm gonna suggest a start, for budgeting purposes, a start date for the staff would be July 1. It's gonna take time to make things happen. So for a number for budget, it seems like a reasonable, it's halfway through the year, you know, and you could build a budget around that.
So we proposing, it says in here 8 full-time. Are we proposing that, or are we proposing
A total of 8,
a total of 8?
Yeah.
including
So for
current
the-
staff.
So for this budget cycle, we're saying budget for 8, or are we saying budget for less than that?
Well,
That's my question.
we already have a couple, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so the 8 includes them.
I mean,
So-
the 8 is a staffing level. But where they come from is a, you know, a personnel level issue.
Can you say that again?
I don't understand the difference. What's the difference? I don't
Okay,
understand.
so you tell us, I'm just gonna be hypothetical, I'm a currently a person, I work a 7-hour, 12-hour shift, and you turn to me and say, by the way, your new job is a 24-hour shift on this schedule. There's no guarantee that I say that's okay.
Understood.
But what the bottom line is, and I think you were trying to make this distinction last time around, right? I feel, and I think some of us feel, we should just say it's 8 full-timers with some per diems or part-time that can fill in openings for PTO or whatever the openings are, right? But it comes down to the number of hours, and that's 8 full-time equivalents. And I think that's kind of where that comes down. So the question is, how long are they on the budget for next year? Yeah, I mean, isn't that, did I misunderstand you last time when you were talking about it's about number of hours?
Right, I mean, again, there's a big transition between budgeting a set of assumptions and hiring, you know, a bunch of people. So I don't personally have any objection or thoughts or whatever, pick 7-1, perfectly good, sooner than that, my personal opinion about the situation. I think you'd be hard pressed to get it done, so.
Well, but if you don't,
The people you
keep doing it
currently
all,
have, if
but-
they make the decision to move, you're already budgeting them for roughly 40 hours a week. And the new cycle is gonna be 42.
on average,
So, in essence, you're very close currently to already the budget number for those that are on board now in a full-time role. You're just shifting their schedule from 2 12-hour days to a single 24-hour day. So that budget hasn't necessarily, doesn't go up.
Right.
Well, it goes up.
Incrementally. Well,
It goes up,
incrementally.
it's not
Everything
dramatic, it's not a dramatic.
Right, because you're already
It's not a
planning for,
dramatic lift.
the majority of the hours that you're gonna be asking for are already included in the budget for at least 2 people.
or close to it. Correct, yeah.
In a portion of the third part-timer. So,
But again, for budgeting purposes, that's why I said it's 8 FTEs and a couple of per diems.
for a
So,
total number, absolutely.
yeah, for a total number for the staffing budget. I mean, that's,
Yeah, if we were to go with 8 full-time, we don't know what that, if it's all full-time or what that mix may be between full-time and per diem.
it may take some time to transition it, but if you're gonna hire people anyways, you would hire for what your goal is rather than for something that's not your intention, right? So, but it may be July 1 when you're ready to go. Some folks aren't ready to transition to 24 hours at that point. But the point is, it's 8 FTE. It's not 8 full-timers, it's 8 FTE. The intention is full-timers, but it's 8 FTE.
But the budget's gonna be there to pay them regardless of whether there's 2 people. you know.
Correct.
We've got so many
No.
hours to
Or one
cover,
person.
so,
No,
I
but
mean,
It's a funding source, you know?
you're talking salary dollars / benefits, but there's a lot of other things that go in there with equipment and
Yeah.
and turnout. So it could, that potential, that number
Yeah,
grows
that's a
even
good
bigger,
point.
so.
Yeah,
Yeah, turnout gear.
yeah.
Physicals,
It sounds big, but it isn't in the scheme.
No, I didn't suggest.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're saying.
No, you're absolutely right. You can, shown it with other departments and extrapolate a percentage of what it would cost to do this, this, or this, and apply those percentages and give you, again, we're looking for a ballpark number to provide for the budget committee, not to the dollars and cents, you know? So you can add percentages and say this to the amounts and this is what it would cost, based on what's occurring in other departments, similar jobs.
So, what,
I guess I would go on record as objecting to the last sentence, which is the town budget process, the number is the number. Now, you can go back to the well later, but you want the number to be a number you can live within.
Yeah.
correct.
So it's down
I mean,
it's really.
budgeting is never an exact science.
No.
It-
It's a
You
lot
know,
less
you
than-
have to estimate to your,
It's a
Yeah.
lot less than.
Fine with that. Fine with that.
I can't get you to the penny, but it's not gonna cost less than this amount of money.
Okay.
well, it might if we can't fill the slots, but anyway.
Well, that's just a plus.
But the
That's
money
a plus.
should, the money should be available.
Yeah.
We're gonna find the
So you're
people.
gonna do what you're gonna do.
Yeah, we gotta find people.
Gotta find the money.
Well,
Yeah.
we need the money, and then we need to find the people.
That's all I'm thinking.
But I think we've been able to do the budgeting as this committee has made various recommendations along the way. We've plugged in some numbers and made some estimates and assumptions, and so I think, Frank, working with administration, we can do that. And you're right, you don't wanna forget about the other aspects of your budget, the equipment line, training, et cetera.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna need a set of turnout gear for each new person you bring on board.
Yeah.
You're gonna need a license for training, which isn't much money.
You might have it in July.
Yeah.
Job requirements must be 6 feet,
You need to know this.
180 pounds, size 7.
And are we gonna house them at Wars and Bailey Island? That's the next question.
I noticed
That's
there's,
the turnout gear. We got
there's PFA free, PFAS free.
PFAS free.
Equipment
PFAS.
now,
Yeah.
PFAS free.
Yeah, but they've, from what I understand, they've straightened out that problem, so
Oh.
we're not gonna buy anything that's not PFAS free going forward. So, at least not our two departments, I mean, there's no
Yeah, that was
reason
a
to.
manufacturer's issue. At least when I spoke with people that we purchased Globe from, the Globe equipment, the liners were not, after they were washed a couple of times, the liners were separated. So that's why they halted, because I tried to buy PFAS-free gear a while ago, and
They halted
they had to
construct
stop it because
manufacturing.
they were finding that the gear they were producing, the glue wasn't holding up. So apparently they corrected it, because I see in the news where
Yeah, some
Some department
departments, the
just-
first one in
just
Maine.
bought all brand new PFAS.
Yeah.
But it didn't identify the manufacturer that they bought it from.
Was it Oxford?
I don't remember.
Montville or somewhere, it was an
Yeah.
unusual name.
Huh.
All right, so, are folks comfortable with, for budgeting purposes, a July 1 start?
You could try to start.
Well, I get it, but again, for budgeting purposes, I mean, whether it happens July 1 or,
Yeah.
you know,
Just pick a number.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pick a month, yeah. July's fine.
okay.
Can you help me understand that? I can't just start interviewing people on July 1. I mean, once the budget is passed at March meeting,
Yeah.
I get,
Yeah,
Then you can,
then we start the process
Yeah.
and we start bringing them on,
Yep,
doing the 12-hour shifts type of, or we can, as we start bringing on what their start date of July 1 or whatever.
Yeah.
I can be crafty that way, but obviously, we're gonna have to hire these people way before that.
yeah.
That's what I'm trying to get to.
well,
it takes time to advertise, to
Yeah, I mean-
interview,
if you were, so at the VA, if all of a sudden they came to you and said, all right, we're gonna bump an engine company up to 5 personnel, right? And it's gonna start July 1. You're gonna interview those, the budget's approved, you're gonna interview those people, and you're gonna schedule them to start, the first day on the job be July 1. But meantime, right, in April, you're gonna start interviewing people, and you're gonna order turnout gear and all that, and they're gonna know what their start date is, as best as is
Got-
possible.
Wanna make sure we're talking the same.
Yeah,
But Frank, I don't think, the budgeting constraints are very limited at this point in time, in the sense that you start spending the way to being, in effect, the request. What you're saying is, you'd like to at least have coverage starting on July 1. You can budget a way to get there, but it isn't like, oh, you know, it comes, it's, they'll run out of a Sprinter van on July 1, and Christie's office and say,
I mean, you probably are gonna have to have some hours on the onboarding process so they can work the truck July 1.
right, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
You're gonna need some funds before that date.
Yeah,
So is,
Ideally, the money will be appropriated in March.
It
Right.
will, but if you, the effective date, and if we wanna ramp up, we've gotta make sure we've got
Yeah,
money
you
for
put
the
that in
ramp up.
budget.
Yeah.
Right, in the
Yeah.
number you come up
Yeah,
with.
yeah.
You want that part of money available before you go.
You can't go from 0 to 100 on one day.
all right, is there more information that town staff need from the committee to put together what's needed for the budget?
Did you say you think the town should get a consultant to work with?
I'm
or
saying
you
if
think
you're gonna change the benefit structure, if you're gonna
Oh.
propose
yeah.
as a part of this, a substantive change to the benefit structure, I think you, I would view this as a process issue, which is, at the town in the past, and all the conversations about why you didn't get an outside person and all this kind of stuff. I think the town would have better luck if it could find a way, you know, I don't know what the funding situation is, find a way to basically get someone to come back and say, okay, this is what you need for a competitive package for these new
Well, we
firefighters.
did get some of that information in their last salary survey, because they looked at our market, which
Yep.
was Brunswick, Topsom, Freeport. I mean, if we wanna look at the benefits piece,
Oh, yeah.
we
yeah.
have that information,
Well, maybe you don't need
Yeah,
to do it, I was
yeah,
never part of it, I mean,
yeah.
it's not,
yeah.
I never
But I don't know
studied that
if it,
event,
if
but
it pulled out the firefighters, if they had a special additional piece, that might be something we'd have to call and follow up on.
I think if you're gonna go to town meeting and say we're bringing back, you know,
Main state retirement.
Main state retirement, after the town voted to get rid of Main state retirement, you probably need to do a little better than
Right.
standing up and saying,
Yeah.
hey, we think it's a good idea.
No, I think we've heard from this committee that people who are in the field are saying,
Yeah.
if we're gonna be able to attract people and recruit people, they're gonna expect that
Yep.
for a full-time position. If you're looking at I mean, we're in the Brunswick, Topsom market.
Yeah,
No, but I'm just saying,
I'm 100%,
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
you think
No.
needs to happen, this is your area.
well, I'm just
of
saying, I think
expertise.
we do have some of that information, but I'm interested in why you think we should get a consultant to maybe,
I think because of
do
the
the-
nature of what you're asking,
yeah,
it would be better in my mind if you had a third party say, we looked at the compensation programs for the following, you know, departments, and we think in order to attract people for this situation, you need to, at a minimum, provide A, B, C, and D. That's what that's just my feeling of that, but if you don't.
It's a buffer zone,
To do that,
a little bit of a buffer zone.
get someone removed from the process.
Yeah,
So what level of information did you get from the salary survey? Did it go into benefits for firefighters?
yeah, well, it went into benefits for employees. I just don't know if it broke it out for firefighters specifically, I don't recall.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
You know, I think it did. It did look at firefighter pay, so I
Yeah.
think it did look at firefighter benefits potentially.
To me, pay is less of an issue, because it's publicly available, and, you know, you just have to be competitive, that's it. But the structure of benefits is much more complex
Mhm.
problem of, you know, what you really need to provide for this, what this sum.
Now, some of them, of course, are unionized, so it's a union-based negotiation.
There aren't too many that aren't
Hmm.
in this industry.
yeah, most of them are.
I'm not aware of any of the career departments around here that aren't. So,
Yeah, that's its own, that's a different set of issues that I have no insight into. I've never had to do those.
I would suggest that while getting 3C, I think is critical to making this work, I think you should still retain the ability for an employee when they come on board to choose to go 401K. You give them that flexibility when they come into employment, to say, because what we have discovered is, in the fire service, we are having some folks, and it's getting to be more common, that aren't working a full 25-year career. And some of them are coming later in life, and that wasn't their original career, so they're not necessarily bringing credit with the pension system with them. They're starting later in life, and sometimes,
Yeah,
on an individual basis, they'll decide that a 401K is gonna be more valuable to them. The average firefighter is gonna want the pension, but you should still protect their ability to choose one or the other in order to make that work out.
yeah. I think so too.
Ours is a 457,
Yeah.
similar
Oh,
to.
okay, you don't have both, all right.
They, right
It's
now,
like
they just
a-
have 457,
Yeah.
that's for municipal.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
tax code issue.
Yeah, but it's a,
I don't know, I just know
yeah,
Portland,
But it's similar.
Portland, you can either get the 401K or your 401K or pension, and then the 457 is fully funded by the employee, they offer it. I have it, but, so it's one of these two, and then you put your own money into 457 if you want. So, and of course, as you know, the benefit to 457 is you don't have to wait till 59 and a half.
Yes,
You work whatever your period of time is, and when you separate from service, it's yours.
yeah.
I think you gotta be 50 or something like that.
well, I'll look more closely at the information we got from our salary and benefit review, and how much detail it had about firefighters and their benefit.
So I
mean,
guess the open
The
question.
place where, I mean, the place it could be useful is if you had somebody independent to help you evaluate any changes to paid time off allowances. That could be useful in comparison with other fire departments. But I think the pension and the retirement plans, that's pretty standard stuff in Southern Maine. All right, is that pretty good on that topic? Are we, any more useful information we can help with, or?
Well, do you have, if you have access to Portland's, contract,
Yeah,
that'd be good to see, just,
yeah, matter of fact, you can go
I
right
mean,
on
they're probably
portlandmaine.gov.
up here.
Yeah,
But I'm curious.
they put it right on their primary.
Oh, it's right on the website?
Yeah, it's right on their
Oh,
website.
okay.
I'll find it and I'll send you a link to it
Okay.
if you like. It's not hard to find. They do that for all other union contracts.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually in negotiations right now. The contract is expired, so.
Oh, okay.
No, we don't need to make any,
And just to be frank, I don't know that Portland's the best comparison.
Oh,
for
really?
Oxbow.
Who would you recommend?
Well,
Portland?
I think you've already mentioned it with the local, I mean, Portland's got 240
I was
something
gonna say, they're up here, right?
full-timers, and no per diems, and no
Yeah.
part-timers, and the only volunteers are on the islands. So it's not,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
it Brunswick Freeport, or is it?
Thompson probably.
it's Topsom, Freeport, Brunswick, Bath, those are the ones I'd look at, maybe Gardner. I mean, those are smaller, right, and they're more, I mean, they're in the market area. I mean, I think Portland's in the market area, I just don't know that it makes
Yeah,
a lot of
Probably a
sense
little
to,
outside. I think those are better.
yeah, I mean, maybe Cumberland. Cumberland has some full-timers, but I think they're fairly small. Yarmouth, yeah, I mean, those, kind of the catchment area. I don't, was Cassett have any full-time firefighters still, or there's just EMS full-timers? I can't remember. But,
David, I think they have full-time chief and per diems.
yeah. So the one thing I don't think we should do is, because we're talking about going this route, is I don't think it's helpful to compare us to per diem departments that are fully per diem.
Who's fully per diem? Like,
Well, so like, Wiscasset, I think, has a lot of per diems. They don't really have the full-timers, other than maybe EMS. So that's the tricky part about it, is we're making this transition from per diems. And looking at, comparing us to other per diem departments is looking backwards rather than looking forwards. So,
Okay.
How many towns this size have full-time fire departments? I couldn't get anything. I asked
this
Google.
size,
Yeah, but
probably Rockport, yeah.
There can't be too many.
Bar Harbor's not too big, but I think they have 6 or 7 guys on duty. Probably Gardner,
Thomaston maybe,
maybe, yeah,
I think most of them are municipal departments.
right.
Correct.
And we're gonna get into this hybrid system here.
But if you're looking at number of employees and those kind of things.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I think that's where it starts to get into that long-term vision piece.
Yeah, yep.
You know, because
Right.
people do, like, one of the insurance companies we were talking to just said, we're not gonna consider you unless you're a municipal department. Like,
Yeah.
they just, and it happens to be MMA.
Yeah.
And they say,
There you
yeah,
go.
yeah,
There you go.
yeah, but they would if we had a municipal department, but they say that they can't consider us based on the structural, organizational arrangement we have.
I must have missed, so, can you back up on that thought? Say it again? I gotta
The
catch up.
insurance, when it comes to
So-
insurance.
The
You know,
town's insurer didn't want to insure.
So
switched
we
to
were looking at options,
New
and we were
new
talking with Maine
suppliers.
Municipal Association,
Okay,
and they said, you have this very unique setup with your EMS and fire, and until you have a municipal fire department and you have an EMS license, the town, we cannot cover you because of what we're required to have in place.
so we're already covered under them for workman's comp though, right?
Right, workers' comp is not talking about that.
Okay, so you're talking about other liabilities and,
Yes,
okay,
and Frank, you were aware of that, yeah. So, it's just the more, and I think I brought this up before, the more we add municipal
yeah,
people, they're asking under whose control are these people, and what is
So-
your
so that
structure
brings us-
like, and do you have a fire chief, a municipal fire chief?
Yeah.
Questions like that.
so that,
Statutory problems.
yeah, but there's nothing insurmountable about any of it.
No, but it's just part of what we should just, where are we going on this
Yeah,
continuum, and maybe we don't know, I mean, we keep moving from all volunteer, this is all paid, and we always talk about how we're moving.
that's why the item's still on the
Yeah,
action list
yeah,
over that
Yeah, no, I
conversation,
know,
so.
but I think maybe that's what people wanna try to understand possibly too, is what is our longer term vision?
Okay. So, are we good on, what you need for information
We'll
around the
come back to
budgeting
you with
piece of
some
it?
information.
Frank runs into a bottleneck, he wants someone to buy it, he knows where we live. Just not at 4 AM.
And you're hiring firefighter EMTs, is that correct? Is that what you're looking for? Or are you gonna just do firefighters and say you have a couple years to get your EMT? Has any of that been decided? I'm just asking a question.
No, that's a good question.
I would move that any future hirees have an EMT license. And the town can decide whether or not you have 12 months or whatever to get it, or you have to have it when they get hired. Doesn't really matter to me, but I think that employees should know that there's a condition of employment, for future employees, they have a condition of employment that they either need to get or retain their EMT license.
Yeah, within a certain amount of time, whatever that is.
I thought we went through that before.
Well, we didn't put, I don't think we put it in the job description, because we hired firefighters that
Right.
didn't have
Yeah,
the
Well-
EMT.
Well, because we didn't care before, and we
Yeah.
were trying to keep them separate from,
yeah,
I know, but they were our
EMS side.
most recent ones.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think if this committee wants to make that recommendation about
when we go, yeah.
the town now,
Will that pertain to per diems also?
I think
Yes.
future
Everybody.
firefighters, I think that would be. a good-
Everybody we hire.
I just wanna make sure it's clear.
Well, when
Yeah.
we hired some recent ones, they didn't have EMT.
No, we had a conversation a meeting or two ago about it, and we went round and round. So just to make it simple, I made the motion just so we can get it out there. Does anybody want to second the motion?
I second the motion.
All right, any
Can
further
I just
discussion?
restate what it is, so
Yeah.
that any future firefighters hired by the town should be required to become EMT licensed within
A year.
12 months?
I was not suggesting a period of time. I was gonna leave that up to Frank or whoever's running the show but it should be a condition of employment.
They either have
And
it
the
or
town
going to
determines
obtain it.
whether or not they have to have it before they start the job, or they have a period of time. I'm just simply making the suggestion that when they get hired, that they understand a condition of employment is to get and retain their EMT license.
Start the training before, within a year.
However, I mean,
Yeah.
Don't have
However
to
you
get
wanna do
it, but
that.
start your training within a year.
I mean, I don't wanna make it so specific to say that you have to have it before you get started, because if you have a qualified candidate and you need to fill it,
Yeah.
and then you wind up passing over this person because they just started the EMT class or
Nobody
something.
does that. I mean, Brunswick, Bath, all those guys, they give you a limited edition.
Not for basic EMT.
Not for basic, they do to get your advance, but not for basic.
Yeah. I thought that run, I know, I'm perfect, I think this is what.
Basic is the minimum. Sometimes for advanced or paramedic, they'll give you a time slot, but they don't even like to do that anymore, because now they're paying for you to take that
Yep.
paramedic course, so they.
Yeah, because what I've seen in places like Augusta, for example, they're, and I think Brunswick did it too, I mean, they're hiring EMT or above, but they are not firefighters. And they're putting them in firefighter 1 and 2 academy.
Yeah.
So they're, because of the obvious,
Need.
volume of EMS calls, the demand for that coverage is EMS, so it's going the other way, that we
That's
wouldn't have thought of, whereas they bring them on board with EMS credentials and then sending them to firefighter 1 and 2 school. So that,
There's just an article in the news a month ago about Bangor started to hire paramedics that weren't firefighters just to staff the ambulance for the first time ever.
and that's a move, that's a whole different move. I read the same thing, whereas they're almost creating a med queue again,
Yep,
where they're separating the firefighters from the EMS folks.
'cause, yeah.
It's way easier to teach them firefighting.
What goes around comes around here.
It's cheaper.
40 years
Cheaper
later,
to teach a
It
firefighter.
is, it's
40
cheaper.
years, 50 years later,
Yeah.
we're starting to move back to where it was back in the 60s, 70s.
So to simplify the motion, I think it would simply be easier to say, the motion is that future firefighters be hired with a condition of employment to acquire and retain an EMT license.
Or if they have one already, that's a bonus.
And it's-
Take into
It's a minimum
consideration.
standard, it's not a requirement. It's a minimum standard. You exceed it.
Okay, so, are you good, your second still good with
Yeah,
that
that's fine,
clarification?
that's fine.
Ready to vote? Favor?
Yeah, no.
All right, anyone opposed? Thank you. Aaron, I think we might have done this before you got here. I had asked, because you've been having trouble getting here as early in the afternoon as we could, if we could swap and move the fire and rescue back to 4 o'clock. Is that good with you?
Should be good most of the time. It's just right now, is my busy season, so
Yep.
just trying to get here
Okay.
for 1 o'clock.
So we're gonna keep the building committee at 3 where it is, and then we're gonna flip this after it, so it'll be at 4,
Okay,
all right?
great.
Do you have any update on the DEA situation and how that all?
We haven't received, so all 3 departments have filed their applications to reduce their permit level. Those were filed on July 10th, along with the public notice was listed on July 10th. There was a 30-day public comment period that expired 17 days ago, and we've heard nothing from Maine EMS
Where was it
since.
published? Oh, they published it, Maine EMS?
No, we
Oh.
published it in the Portland Press Herald because it turned out that the Harpswell Anchor did not meet the requirements
Oh,
for public notice under the state statute. So
Got it.
that's where it wound up getting published.
okay.
As I said, the public comment period is closed. We've not heard anything since. I believe Scott Cameron reached out to them last late last week or early this week, and left a message with Robert Glatsby, who's the Region One Director. And I do not know that he's heard back. I suspect he has not heard back from him, because usually Scott's pretty good about calling me up if there's some news. So it may
Have the
be that
procedures changed, or you're still,
we're still operating under a current license.
Oh,
The
you are.
license has
Oh,
not,
okay.
the,
Got it.
it has not been approved, the change has
I
not been
see.
approved yet.
Okay.
As I said, we haven't heard back from Maine EMS.
Okay.
So, I don't know if it's because it has to go to the Maine EMS's Board of Directors to approve the license, or if it has to go to the new licensing board, or we're not getting a lot of feedback on that right this minute. So I'm sure when they decide they're ready to tell us, they'll reach out and tell us. Otherwise, they may just simply issue it, and we'll get an email that has a automated, here's your new license card, which is what usually happens every fall when we relicense. So,
They may not say anything.
we
Yeah.
did find out that the hospital is gonna continue to provide us with non-controlled meds through the end of the year. Originally, they were saying October 15th, I believe. They
Yeah.
have since told us that they will continue to the end of the year, which is helpful. It's always easier if we can get them from the hospital and have to drive to Bath to get them, or get them shipped. So that's the latest info I have on that. It is 2:20. How can we, I mean, we talked about the budget piece of it.
Are we gonna discuss Frank's note?
Oh, yes, please. I did not have a chance to read that. I read the minutes, I was a good boy reading the minutes, but I didn't have a chance to read that. Did so they have an electronic form, and what I could see, the page one of it, it asked you for a link to the town website where the plan was gonna be posted. But there's like 2 additional Google form you can't get by without adding information into the first page. So I don't know if they're asking for,
Right, but
More
the
than that.
30, well, the statute requires the town to adopt a plan. Frank, in the usual comprehensive view of the world, created a plan.
Yeah, it's in there.
I personally take the position that with statutes and public notice, that you should meet the minimum requirements of what they're asking for, especially for a statute that's so kind of really dumb as this one, and not provide a whole bunch of additional information.
I agree.
And therefore, what Frank put together is quite comprehensive, but it's a substantial part of it is not required by the statute. So,
You could scale it back, yeah, I'm sure.
The only reason, the reason why, so you suggested in your email that number 4, advanced life support services, so basically our paramedic program wasn't a requirement.
nope, doesn't ask for anything but transporting emergency services. Not a single word about the personnel or staffing or skills or any of that.
Correct, but I had put it, just because it's part of our EMS system, that's why I put it in there.
I'm 100% agreeing with everything you wrote is what is accurate. I'm just saying, I would take the position, I'm suggesting that the town take the position, this isn't my obligation, town take the position of meeting the statute with the actual minimum required information. And the minimum required information is literally the following sentence. The town provides transporting emergency services through contracts with 3 independent corporations. Then I like the fact you list them, then I like the fact you put the service areas in, draw a line, we're done. That's what I think the statute requires.
Let me go back and reread it.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
I mean, but if you could show me that it requires more than that, then I'll happily agree with you.
I guess the question for me is, what are they looking for? I mean, other than identifying that, what you're doing,
They're forcing the towns to say how they're doing it.
I think
mean-
I'll take the big picture. You're hearing about all these towns in Maine that are having trouble keeping ambulance services funded, going. The ambulance services are not able to continue in operation. So the state wants to know what each town has in place for EMS.
That's really what they're doing.
And they are
Yeah.
requiring it now by statute. I did not realize that there was a statute that said you must provide this, but Harvey was one of the first ones that sent it out, and now Frank has been working on it. I will say, when I read the document, I thought it was the first time that if somebody could read what our system is. You know,
Yeah, I
our
like it.
EMS system, because it does involve this paramedic service, and it does involve the three,
I know, but.
you know,
but
separate
the-
departments. You're focused on the transportation piece, I understand, because
Mm-hmm.
that's what their question is.
So. but
Because I think
you can
that,
do both.
once you say we adopt a plan that we adopt a plan that has all of this other information that's not related to the statute, all this other information, and now I believe your obligation under the statute, as you change any of that stuff, to now go back and maintain this ongoing plan. Whereas I think if you merely met the obligations of the statute, right, we would do what I just said, which is, we got contracts with these three organizations, they cover these geographic areas, draw a line, and you won't have to touch this again until that changes someday in the future.
But I don't think it would hurt to say the town currently provides contracted paramedic service.
I don't think there's any reason to
It's not
do it.
required, but it
No.
does explain.
But there's
But it
no-
don't even ask about people in any way, shape, or form.
So there's no reason you couldn't do what Jonathan's talking about and link the form to that, so that's a statutorily required
Right, but we could
plan.
have a different
And
one.
then you still have this form that you can put on the website for the public to access.
Well, you have to have a resolution. The select board, I think, has to
Correct.
adopt a resolution.
No, they have to adopt the plan.
And the
So,
plan, and the resolution, yeah.
here's our plan. Our plan is to provide, is to contract for emergency medical services with these three organizations.
But I do think that the paramedic service is part of our EMS service.
I can look at, I can.
But it didn't
I can
ask
look at
about
the-
service.
I can look at the law, but it just says under number 3, your municipal officers vote on under number 3, what it says adopt a plan. Your municipal officers vote on a plan that describes your current ambulance service model. So that's why. and
That's what it
And the model was.
But the definition in the statute is transporting ambulance, emergency services, which is backward defined, right, as pulling ambulance, service out of the prior statute.
And I really didn't go look at their appendix A for their template, so let me go back and look at,
Yeah.
I'll look at their template and it was due in January.
Yeah, no, I get that. That's,
So, I'll
But
look
I
at-
think it's gotta go on a select board agenda, and we
Right.
wanted to get input from this committee about
okay, well,
what
Yeah.
we hear.
Other than Jonathan.
I'm giving,
does anybody
I'm giving
else
you
have-
my opinion, right? Which is that you meet the
I like it
statutory,
all laid
the
out.
statutory requirements of it,
Myself.
and that's what you do. And adopting any more than that opens a Pandora's box of other issues, like, did we just change our plan? Right?
I think that's what I was focused on, what our plan is, or
Yep.
or what do we currly do? And that's what I
Yeah.
wrote down.
And I don't think that's a bad thing.
No,
I agreed up front, Frank, I think it was an exceptionally well-documented summary of what we actually do. Unfortunately, the statute is not asking you for that. It's asking you what you're doing to provide one part of it. Anyway, I just passed that along as a suggestion. So
Do you want it to
As
come
I
back in
said.
2 weeks, a revised version?
I think if you strip it down like that, I don't think any of us are gonna,
I don't know why you just
Object to
won't
it.
circulate it, we'll say, okay, and have fun.
it's,
I mean, I like the way it is now, but,
but I understand what Jonathan's saying is any detail you put in, and you submit that as the plan, then you have to amend the plan if anything changes.
yeah,
We'd have to admit it, I mean,
Yeah.
we'd have to anyway, but.
yeah.
No, what, I don't know what you say, I mean, I'm gonna use an absolutely weird example, but nonetheless. Right now, if you meet the statutory requirements, say this is what we do, tomorrow the town can cancel the paramedic program. You have no obligations to do anything about the plan. Put the paramedic program in there, it's my opinion, now you gotta do something about the plan.
Well, I wouldn't disagree with that, but I don't think that's an issue for me to go in and say, oh, we canceled our paramedic program, I've gotta go in there and change that part of the plan, and we gotta get a paramedic service from somewhere else,
I'm
and
just,
I gotta change it.
I'm just dreaming up all the things that you gotta remember to do. Say, listen, I could put this one in a parking lot and not have to worry about it.
I'm
Again.
not necessarily arguing with your premise, I was focused on more what they wanted our plan.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
I'll-
You're doing,
I will say this, I think because of the way they're collecting this information with the Google form, that they're most likely, when you get to the page 2 and page 3 where they ask specific information, they're gonna data mine that
Yes,
into
they
a
are.
Google sheet, and then they're gonna correlate it, and that's what they're gonna look at. Then, the rest of this, they're gonna say, well, we can reference in the future if we ever,
they don't even have you submit the plan.
just a link to the plan, just a, internet link to the plan is what it calls for on the form.
I think
I
they
thought there
want
was a
every
submission
community
link.
to
They-
focus on how that community is providing EMS service.
Or they want a
Who's
public,
transporting?
what they really are asking for is a public disclosure. It's, hey,
And I think they want to check the box for Harpswell. And we want to get the box checked. And we will. But we want to include comments from the committee.
you know, I don't,
So we can.
I don't know how to,
refine.
I don't know how to say this, sometimes I feel strongly about things, and I always sound like I feel strongly about things, but I really don't care too much.
We take your point. Maybe we
I-
can craft
I
something
value
that,
it, and
um,
that doesn't mean I'm gonna change it,
There,
but I
there,
value your
there,
opinion.
there are at least, there are at least,
Stick to your guns, somebody.
we're dancing around this one, aren't we?
Nice
You
job,
might-
Frank.
my closing suggestion, Christie, is that you take a look at your obligations under Frank's drafting of the plan.
Yeah,
That's a 8 or 9 part set of
But I did put
obligations.
designee, did you see the designee? So, 'cause I know, I know I can do it. But it's-
I got it, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah,
The
maybe
state
that's
did-
too
the
much
state-
information.
The state did not ask you to take on any
All right, take it out.
obligations.
No, I don't know.
They
I
didn't
don't-
ask you to take on any obligations. They just said, disclose what you do.
All right,
All right, can we quit?
are we good on that topic?
Are we good on every topic?
Yeah, can we quit?
My note didn't stop. Things go.
So,
Frank's fingers hurt.
it's been an hour. I would just like to ask one thing, and hopefully we can adjourn until our next meeting starts in 28 minutes. How do we create a plan or a step process by which we're going to look at the last thing, which is on the outstanding list from the last meeting, which is drafting or outlining a long-term consolidation or municipal department vision for future, right? How are we gonna tackle that in a way that is going to be effective and not circle around the same, or how do we do that?
Somebody has to draft one, and then we have
Yeah,
to have
you're gonna have to
input.
draft
Well, the last time we tried a
Jonathan
serious
was going
plan, we
to.
actually had, not a consult, we had,
Yes, we did. I was just gonna say, this seems like a time when we could use a consultant. And we had Frank, what was, I can't think of his last
yeah,
name.
and we didn't call him a consultant, we called him a facilitator or
Oh,
something.
maybe facilitator.
Yeah, I'm wondering
But
if
he
that
did
would,
write up a report that,
I'm wondering if that would be useful to us, if we could, right,
I think it is,
I think
myself.
to at least,
See, we're using your idea, Jonathan, but just in a different way.
I'm okay with that idea, because the same principle applies, which is that every, the majority of comments made about the current situation include a phrase that says, well, you should have hired a consultant.
How long ago was this? When did this occur?
oh, this was back when we were doing the,
what's that?
was it for the per
2008?
diems, or was it for the paramedic
2008.
service?
It was for the paramedic service.
2008, was
Yeah.
it?
No, it was after that, because we didn't do the paramedics till after that. So it's probably been, I don't know,
Oh,
almost 15
I
years.
could probably look that up.
Is that document available?
Is
and
it-
is
I
it
was
useful?
thinking it was online.
I've never
but,
seen the paramedic one, I've only seen the other
Just trying
one.
to think what he helped us with.
It's been so
Maybe
He helped us
maybe-
communicate with
maybe-
each other.
Maybe we start with a quick research of what's in the archives.
But we did reach out to this gentleman in Camden, and his name is going to escape me, and we got a proposal for him to
Its timeline
do some
didn't work,
consulting
though.
work prior to the building vote.
Right, but his
Select
timeline
board.
didn't work.
What?
His timeline didn't work,
His timeline, and I think the select board just felt like
but he wasn't gonna get anything meaningful done before you were having the vote.
it would have extended the vote if.
Yeah, so, but in this case, we got some time to work on it.
Yeah, we have
And
plenty.
if we,
I'll be
if we
dead.
could find
I'll
a
be dead.
facility,
We'll be working on it.
if we could find a facilitator that has any experience in this particular area,
Yeah.
not just a general
I don't know about
facilitator.
Didn't he
facilitator.
How
come
about
and
a
meet with
freaking
the group?
consultant?
I think he did.
I wasn't here for that meeting, but I think he met with the group before he put a proposal to.
He did.
Yeah. And that would be helpful too, because if it turns out that this guy he just comes across as, well, I'm in fact in thus and such and so, and already has preconceived ideas, and it'd be good to have a facilitator that knows about the fire service and has maybe gone through the experience before, but isn't necessarily making.
Would you like him to be invited to a meeting?
I think you should write a spec for what you want the person to do.
Yeah. Give him something of a clue.
Well, this consolidation.
Because this other guy, that
Possible,
other guy
yeah.
that came back down here, he comes down here, and we told him what we do, and he just kept looking at us like we were from Mars.
Was this the gentleman that I'm referring to?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that meeting was like,
I wasn't
what?
at that meeting, so I don't know.
what, I never heard of that. You do what?
Or, I don't know if there's anything left of the outfit that did the original emergency services study.
Oh, my
If they even exist
I
any
don't
longer.
know.
You gotta
I
be.
mean, there may be like a.
That was 2008, that's what I
Yeah,
was referring to.
there may be a principal or something like that that does that, just consulting or facilitating on the side or something. The ESO probably doesn't even exist anymore, or EO, or whatever the name of the company was, but. I'm just trying to think of
Yeah,
somebody
no,
other than
no,
just a general facilitator that doesn't understand.
You don't want a general
fire service.
facilitator, you want a consultant.
Yeah,
In the
And
fire.
that's special-
In the fire
Yeah,
space.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
that does something like
Better,
this.
even
Yeah.
better, the
And-
closer to the
And Frank
space.
was not that, Frank helped us communicate with one another
Yeah, well,
and helped write a report, as I recall.
Yeah, and those are all important aspects.
Yeah, but he
But
didn't.
it would be good to have
fire
somebody that's
director.
been through this type of process before to help us build a roadmap to say, all right, number one, all right, we're gonna have a conversation. Who's in the room? Who are the
Right,
stakeholders? Number two, what are we trying to solve? Just come up with that so we can work through it step by step and come up with a final, again, a final report or a work product.
did Falmouth go through something like
I think
this?
those documents
They
are
might
saying
have.
you lay out
They did.
a 7-point and a 9-point plan
right.
of consolidation. So it's not that we don't have a roadmap. Perhaps we just need the guidance of somebody to say, look, this is already in print.
Just to keep us on track.
This is in print.
Yeah.
These are the steps the community has to take to get there. It's already been researched, it's already been done. We need somebody to help guide us, looking at those documents and guiding us in. A lot of this is gonna be a timeline. And that, at some point, you're gonna have to pick a timeline.
Oh, yeah.
Am I on or off?
So there is, so remember when we started the per diem system and we created the fire administrator position, we based that on
Maybe that's what
Kennebunkport.
Frank helped us with.
Right, Kennebunkport.
It was Kennebunkport. Well, Kennebunkport now has a municipal chief.
So
And
why
I
don't we
think
talk
the
to them?
3 independent corporations now have consolidated into a municipal now.
Right, he transitioned when he
Well,
looked
then
into
we go,
that.
when we go to
He
them.
was the water district director at the time that he was the administrator. That was an ancillary job for him.
Yeah.
And then he transitioned into the chief's role when they
So the
moved their
The
system.
new chief down there is Todd Ziga. He just retired from Peaks Island. And before him, it was Jay Everett, who's retired deputy from Portland. I don't know, Jay may have been the first full-time chief they had, but I don't know who the town worked with in
I
order to
can
help
reach
them
out
through
to
the process.
the town manager.
Yeah,
So Kenny Bunkport?
Yeah. And since our current model was based on what we
Yeah.
saw down there, it seems like we're evolving the same way.
Multiple volunteer companies
Yep.
Yeah.
like it is
that
now.
consolidated into one.
Yep. So that might be useful to start with.
Yeah,
with
see if they had a
Kennebunkport.
consultant
Yeah.
that came in and helped them with that.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
excited. I'm
Okay.
excited. I can hardly wait. I'm gonna get a plan, oh my God.
But maybe Falmouth too, because we actually brought the Falmouth fire chief in at one point. Do you remember that?
And it's gonna
Howard
be fast.
somebody?
Yeah, but I don't think Falmouth was ever three separate.
They were one or two.
They had, I think at one time they had 3 stations, but I don't think they were independent.
Okay,
And the one that's,
Oh, they-
on Allen Avenue Extension, they closed that a number of years ago, they closed it all together.
but Kennybunk, they were independent.
Kennebunkport was 3, just like us.
Kennebunkport, okay.
Yeah.
York County was one of the last counties that was more similar to what we are
Okay,
before they made the transition.
yeah,
Kennebunkport's the place, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, anything else for today?
no, it's all good stuff.
So next meeting's
That's
the
exciting.
10th at 4 o'clock for this committee. And we got the building committee in about 20 minutes.
Just,
What time is the building committee, if they adjourn on time, adjourning?
The building committee?
It just depends on the,
No.
45
On an
minutes before.
official basis.
an official,
Well, starting the next meeting, it's gonna be at 1 hour.
they've been open-ended, because there's been nobody on the other side that needed
But
to be in the room.
I think the last meeting, we were less than 30 minutes. I
Yeah.
mean, it was,
Yeah, we did a filter.
yeah, that's right. Took a walk,
I think you're getting an updated plan today.
nice.
can,
Go ahead.
just real quick on the open items, the EMS gap coverage, Dave, we're all set with that, I can take that off, we're just waiting for a gap, right? We've got the policy, we've got the equipment,
Everything's in place.
we're just waiting for a gap
Right.
for our response, basically, so I can.
Can I just ask one minor communication point for the public, volunteer benefit? I've been asked by several people in our department what's happening about it. Is there any reason we can't just send out to our, internally to us, nothing to do with the plan, to let the EMS people that are in trouble know this is happening?
No,
No, she's waiting.
Somebody's
My wife
waving a
is in the-
bag. Oh, that's your wife.
They hear about it, but they don't know what happened.
Yeah, no, I guess that would be up to Dave to, I mean, you want me to, you want me to send your policy out, is that what you want me to send out?
if they wanna see our situation, that's fine.
Okay, that's just double checking before,
Yeah, no, I mean,
I would just circulate it and on our side,
Can I just send it to
Yeah,
you?
that's fine.
The review of
Grapevine
ambulance
works
equipment,
pretty well.
Chief Wallacey, the review of ambulance equipment, you started with the jump bags, but we'll just leave that open? Cause are you just
Yeah,
stopping after? the
well,
jump
I
bag?
don't know, does this committee want to hear back on that, or
on what?
on
Is
the,
there any fix for the fact that the Hartford Neck ambulance is not the same design? So you can't fix that, how are we gonna fix it?
no, we're talking about the low-level stuff. I mean, we're just talking about getting the same jump bag, potentially, and equipment in the jump bag. That's why, so I just mentioned it last time around. I don't know if this committee needs to hear about this or wants to hear about this. I mean, that's on you guys if you wanna. I don't know how quickly this is gonna happen.
That you all have finally agreed on what tourniquet to use, but it'd be nice to know you fixed it, because it's been an ongoing battle.
Well, we're not gonna, until it's time to buy a new ambulance, we're not gonna fix the configuration of the truck, so we're just talking about bags and
No,
stuff.
I'm just saying the back thing, I mean, is that not solved?
No, we have not, so, we're working on it, or we're having, let me rephrase that, we're having a conversation about it.
So I'm just gonna leave it open then.
That's fine, yep. And I'll just, until it gets done, I'll just keep on saying, we're working on it.
Just keep it there for follow-up, like, and when you have.
I'm gonna put a due date on it, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, next week.
Well,
what you should do.
make sure Scott Cameron knows he has to
I
do
mean, how
that.
hard is it to figure out a bag? Let's go.
I am a project manager, I like deadlines.
It's really
I gotta
silly.
get my shots in when I
Put a
can.
date
It's really simple, I can fix 2 of the 3 ambulances in a day.
You let them get out of whack.
We done?
No, we're done.
Unless there's objections.
I'm sorry, I thought we were done a while
We're,
ago.
first